for human growth and development, the other important concepts are that we're going to look at every stage that we talk about from three very specific frameworks. One of them I've already mentioned, the biological. Actually, two of them I've already mentioned, the biological and the cognitive. They're pretty much the same as I just talked about them. Cognitive is about intelligence, language, understanding, communication, logic. Biological is exactly like I mentioned it before. Socio-emotional is a little bit of a twist because that's really looking at the socio-cultural, like I talked about before, but focusing on the emotional aspects of it as well. So, how do people form bonds? How do people form pairings? How do people form family units? And what do those family units mean? What do those bonds do in terms of their development, and how do they connect, and how do they interact? And if you can understand those three concepts, then you're probably going to do really well in this class because they're everything that we talk about in this class. Every single paper you do will be connected to one or more of those three concepts. Your final project will be those three concepts applied to every single stage. And this class is not rocket science, but it does take a little bit of depth and a little bit of detail. So I just want to mention that's one thing. The other thing I want to say is that I want to really encourage you guys to disagree with me, to argue with me if you feel fit to do so, and to ask questions. Because I really like it when my students tell me I'm wrong. And I might be. Based on my experience, I'm probably not. But if I see that you think I'm wrong about something, I can figure out what's coming across incorrectly. I might be stating things in language that doesn't make sense to you. I might be presenting concepts in a way that's a little bit confusing and doesn't work in the same way for you that it works in my head, because I know through my own experience that my sense of logic and cognition is kind of quirky and a little bit unusual. And that's not a bad thing. I think it's actually a really good thing. But I make little mental leaps that a lot of people don't. I'm into puzzles. I'm into creativity. I'm very much not interested in linear thinking. I find it extremely boring. But I know that that also means as a teacher, every once in a while, when I'm doing this very circular thinking and kind of pulling back and forth these 5 different concepts, which in my head are all connected, and to the point where it doesn't occur to me to explain to anyone how they're connected. So please, please, please feel perfectly free and perfectly comfortable to ask me questions about that, and to take it up with me and call me on it when I'm glossing over an issue that's important to you that you're not understanding. Because that's an easy thing for me to do. These classes take a lot of work to put together, and I'm not complaining about that. I really like teaching them. But one of the things that can happen very easily is that I will forget to address something fairly obvious to me that's not at all obvious to anyone else, because I'm so focused or concentrated on some other aspect of the course that I forget to do this. The one other thing I want to mention is that it's my goal to respond to everybody at some point or another. I'm not going to promise I'm going to do this every week, but I'm going to try. If it goes by 3 weeks and I haven't responded to you once in the discussion board, please tell me. It's usually a matter of timing. People who post most of their work on Friday and later are less likely to get a response from me in the discussion board than if they post early in the week, because I concentrate a lot of my focus in the discussion board on those first 3 days. And I don't tend to do, I actually have to force myself not to log in much over the weekends. So if you're the sort of person who tends to post at the times that I don't tend to read as much or respond as much, and you don't hear anything back from me on anything you said, I would love to know about it. And you will get my apology, because I am trying to make sure I respond to everybody. And I'm even to the point of trying to put a chart together to make sure I do it. But I haven't gotten quite that far yet, and I kind of play it by ear. And so if I lose you at some point, if I lose track of you, I would love it if you told me. So those are my big things to mention for the first week's discussion, how well that goes. All right, so I'm going to sign out for this week, and I will see you all on the discussion board. Thanks.